This is Jesse Goldberg-Strassler, joined by Lansing Lugnuts pitcher Marcus Reyes. Marcus, was it difficult to decide which college you would go to?
Not really, honestly. For people that don't know, I went to San Diego State University, and I'm from the northern county San Diego area. So I kind of always grew up just a San Diego fan in general and a Padres fan, and the head coach there at the time was Tony Gwynn. So when they offered me, it wasn't really a tough decision to choose to go there because he was one of my idols growing up.
What was your first conversation with Tony like?
It was actually really embarrassing, but so the first time coaches are bringing me through the locker room and they're saying, hey, you're about to meet Coach Gwynn. And at the time, I'd only met one Hall of Fame baseball player ever, and that was Dave Winfield. And going through my head, I was like, oh my God, I'm about to meet TG. This is crazy. Like, huge fan. I'm going to play for him. Like, what? Like, I was so flustered and walked down the tunnel and he's sitting there with a huge smile on his face. And I blacked out for a second and I said, hi, Mr. Winfield, nice to meet you. No. And he just laughed and chuckled, like his normal good-hearted chuckle, and said, nice to meet you too, kid. And then the coaches were laughing and they go, I knew instantly I'd messed up. And the coaches were laughing. They go, yeah, this is Marcus Reyes. We just offered him. He's like, oh, good, nice to have you along. And showed me around, and at the end of practice, I walked up to him. I'm like, I'm sorry, nice to meet you, Coach Gwynn. And he goes, there you go. So that was like my first ever convo with him, and obviously I spoofed it, but he was a good guy about it and just laughed it off. So
what made you think about Dave Winfield?
I don't know if it was just being starstruck or what, but like that was the only like big name guy I've ever actually met prior to that, and I was in shock and awe when I actually saw him sitting there on the bench. I was like, there's no way I'm with a living legend right now face to face, and Dave Winfield was the first name that popped in my head, and I kind of just ran with it.
What was he like as a head coach?
He was more of a father figure to us, I'd say. Very laid back, very fun to play for. It sucked his passing was later my freshman year, but he was always high spirits, always welcoming you and everything. He just made us feel like a family. So it was just he was a very good coach to have.
Did you know that his health was suffering?
We knew it was bad, but we didn't know it was as bad as what it really was. I remember there was 4 of us went to summer ball, same place in Ohio that year, and my roommate at the time, who had nothing to do with San Diego State baseball, looked at me and my other teammate from San Diego State, and he said, "Hey, your Coach Gwynn just died." And he and I looked at him like, "No, you're crazy. He's fine. Like, we know he's been sick." But I'll never forget the day I was eating a bowl of cereal and the TV was right behind us, and it kind of just popped. It obviously popped up, baseball world, even sports world, even just the world in general lost a huge, great man. So it was in shock and kind of caught us off surprise. We all talked about it and said, honestly, we knew he was sick, but we didn't think he was that bad.
Yeah. What was it like the next time that the team all got back together?
Our coach, new head coach, Mark Martinez, kind of brought us all together and talked to us about it, like reassured us. He had brought in a psychologist if there were any, because there were a lot of people, obviously like the old upperclassmen who had him for a lot longer than us younger classmen, like to talk to, like to express their feelings, like how they felt, because it was tough. It was a tough time, and a lot of people were taking it really hard, especially some of the people that really preached what he taught. So first time with the team, it was morale was low, it was sad, but we dedicated that year and every year since to Coach Gwynn. So, and San Diego State baseball has been on the right path since then. So,
how was the rest of your time at San Diego State?
It was amazing. Something I would never trade up. I always say I wish I could do college over again. Coaches were great. My teammates were great. They were all brothers to me. School was easy. It was fun. It was enjoyable. Like the entire environment, and like you can't beat being in San Diego. Perfect weather all year round, right next to a beach, so it was awesome.
Let's talk about draft day for you. Did you have any expectations going into the draft?
Going into the draft, I did not have any expectations. I had a few questionnaires I had filled out prior to the draft, and like some people had contacted me, but I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think I was going to get drafted. And to be honest, when I did get drafted, I was actually playing Guitar Hero, making breakfast with my roommate at the time. We had just finished working out. So it wasn't breakfast, it was brunch. Yeah. Just finished working out, and I was actually about to start a guitar solo, and my roommate looked down at his phone, and he said, like, hey, did you just see it? And I paused it. I go, see what? And my phone just started blowing up, and he goes, you just got drafted. And I was like, what? Like yes, that was like my aspiration to be drafted and everything, but in my head, I was like, I wasn't actually figured on getting drafted that day. So it was just a whole mix of emotions hit me. Obviously, I couldn't finish that song, I kind of just...
Priorities.
Yeah, priorities, right? Friends and families were contacting me, and it honestly caught me by surprise. It really did.
I want to go back to the questionnaires. Were there any interesting questions that really challenged you?
No, they were all pretty straightforward. There was, pretty straightforward questionnaires. It's just basically like height, weight, something interesting about you, like hobbies. Like I put ping pong, of course. At the time, like I was a ping pong guru with my roommate. So, but other than that, it was pretty straightforward. I never saw anything out of the ordinary with those.
How soon after draft day were you pitching in your very first minor league game?
So we got... Draft day was on the Wednesday. I got told I was selected and flew out that Friday. We had a mini camp 4 days, so I'd say within a week, maybe less than a week, I pitched in my first minor league game, and boy, I was excited. That was fun. I was juiced up.
How was that first pro baseball season?
It was good. I was in all 3 short season levels, so my first outing was in the GCL. And then after that, I was promoted to advanced rookie and to Bluefield. Spent most of the season there, had a really good season there. And then the last 2.5, 3 weeks of that season, I was brought up to Vancouver for their playoff push. And I didn't really pitch much up there. Obviously, they had their team. They were a really good team. But I got in about 5 or 6 innings, and it was awesome. First year was everything. Honestly, I actually didn't expect how pro ball was going to be, and it just kind of blew me away. It was just really fun, really laid back. It was kind of weird just being equals with your coaches and not even calling them coaches. Like I was calling Tony, and then Jim Sykowski, the pitching coach that's now in Dunedin, calling him Cy. It was weird, but it was so laid back, so much fun. Everyone was pulling for each other. It was awesome. It was a great first year of pro ball.
Speaking with Lansing Lugnuts reliever Marcus Reyes, while you were at Bluefield, that was the first time that I had heard about you, because the broadcaster in Bluefield told me, you're not going to believe watching this guy. You're going to have so much fun with all of your different things that you do to throw off a batter's timing. When did you first start?
So my normal delivery, the one where I turn and face away from the hitter, I had just started that last year, so my last year of college. And then gradually over time, it kind of just became a slide step, became a quick pitch, became just a normal leg lift, everything. And last year, Cy in Vancouver really embraced it and let me do a whole array of stuff. So it kind of blossomed a lot last year, a lot more, and I love it. I honestly love doing it. It's fun out there.
Is there a batter reaction that you've gotten with one of the things that you do, the slide step, the quick pitch, whatever it might be, that just stuck out in your mind as if you said, yes, that's what I want?
Yeah, one time last year we were playing the Rockies affiliate in Vancouver, and I quick pitched a guy after I did a hold at the top. So next pitch, quick pitched him, and the batter looked at me wide-eyed and just said, wow. and he started laughing, and I started smiling on the mound. I was like, yeah, I think I just fooled him a little bit right there. So I think that's probably the best reaction I've actually gotten from that. And he wasn't even pissed. He was in awe that I really just did that to him.
It's fun for me to watch. It's tough to hit against. What's the challenge for you as a pitcher with all of the different things that you can do?
I just got to make sure that I'm always balanced and have a strong core. A lot of my priorities are to have strong hips, strong core, and I feel like if I slacken those in that area, then it becomes harder for me to do all those multiple deliveries because it's so much movement and such a fast-paced time that I need to keep working on all the time. So I guess that's my biggest challenge.
You're the only left-handed pitcher on this team. But in talking to Tony Caceres, he said, yeah, but Marcus is tough on right-handers anyway, so it's not like you're typical lefty. Do you think that you're harder to hit against right-handers or lefties?
Honestly, I've never really seen my splits. My favorite go-to pitch is my changeup. So, I mean, I'm not afraid of throwing to a right-handed hitter. But I feel like in the aspects of everything I do out there, I think a lefty would not like to see me. I've had a lot of friends on other teams told me they hate seeing when I come out there that are left-handed hitters. So, lefties for sure probably have a lot more challenge against me.
How'd you find your changeup? What grip do you use?
I throw it on a four seam and I spike it at the bottom with my thumb. And I've been doing that since I was like 13 years old. Kind of just picked it up along the way, and I've just been throwing it like that ever since. So I mean, my bread and butter, I guess.
I was talking with Connor Law, and I said, "Who's the funniest guy in the bullpen?" And he said, Marcus Reyes. And then he said, here's why. Because when Marcus tells a story, he puts in so many details. Are you the best storyteller on this team?
I don't know if I'd say I'm the best storyteller, but I'm the most animated storyteller. And what Connor's saying with like the most detail is that a lot of people, when they tell a story, they're kind of, here's A, here's B, and this is the conclusion. And then I go, here's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, all the way to Z. And then I hit my point at the end. And everyone's like, Marcus, you just dragged that out way too long. But the whole time I was animated the entire time. So I guess it depends how you receive the story, I guess. But I'm really animated when I like telling my stories.
How are the bullpen personalities with these Lugnuts?
Awesome. Honestly, our entire group in general, great guys. We're all having fun, and I feel like this is a huge part, playing baseball and just especially a full season. You're out here for so long away from family and friends that if you have a group that's out here and is having fun and enjoying what they're doing, so not only that's the entire bullpen, that's our hitters, that's our starting pitchers, that's everyone. I feel like our entire group out here is just a great group.
Marcus, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Lansing Lugnuts pitcher Marcus Reyes. I'm Jesse Goldberg-Strassler, and this is Lugnuts Baseball.